All right, this is going to be a lesson on tax, tip, and discount. You should have the student page where you're going to complete your notes, the work at the end. Uh, so here we go. It's a tax. Tax is an amount added to the price of an item. This is an extra payment. Um, Good old greedy King George wanted 3% tax, and that's why we went to war against England for independence. That 3%. So tax is a percentage of what you're paying already added in. It's an additional cost. To find the tax, you're going to multiply the price that you're paying times the percent rate as a decimal. You'll get how much it is. And then you're going to add that to the price of your payment. For example, Adidas were sold for $76.49. How much is the total cost if you pay 7.5% sales tax? So we take our tax amount, we have to find that. We're going to multiply it by 0.075. I got that because 7.5% means 7.5 over 100. So 7.5 divided by 100 gives me that decimal value. I multiply it times my cost, 76.49. That gives me $5.74. Now, anytime we're dealing with money, you're going to need to round more times than not to the hundredths position because there's no part of a penny as far as our money goes. So then the total cost, we're going to add our original price plus the tax that we have to pay additionally. Good old greedy King George. All right, so 76.49 plus 5.74 gives us $82.23. That's how much you're actually going to put out of your pocket for those shoes, including your tax. So again, tax is an added amount. It's in addition to the cost that you're already paying. Tip, or also called a gratuity. This is an amount that is added to the bill for service. It's the percent divided by 100. We get our decimal point. We add that to the price overall of the cost. So Jaden takes his mom to Olive Garden for her birthday. Their bill was $42.50. He gave a 12% tip. What is the total amount he paid? We take our tip. To find our tip, we multiply our original cost or price, $42.50. To get that decimal, we did 12 divided by 100 to get 0.12. So the tip amount was $5.10. Again, it's bigger than the hundredths place. You may have to round. So to find our total cost, we add our original price, $42.50, plus $5.10. And we get the total cost of $47.60. So again, a tip or a gratuity is something we give extra. It's usually given because someone did really good service for us and we want to give them a little extra. This is not a required amount, like tax is required. All right, the next thing is discount. So discount is something that's taken away from the price. These are what we like, because that means it's going to be cheaper for us. So the discount is an amount subtracted from the price. Again, to find our discounted amount, we have to find the discount. How much is being taken away? So we do our percent divided by 100 to get that decimal point. Multiply the original price times that, and we end up finding how much the discount is. Then we subtract that from the original price. For example, Adidas running shoes, normal price of $89.99 are on sale for 15% off. So we first find our discount amount. So 89.99 times 0.015, that's 15%. 15 divided by 100 to get the decimal. So then we come up with 1350 is our amount that we're saving. So we take our total cost, 89.99, and we subtract that 1350, and we end up with 76.49 is what we actually paid. Now, if we had to pay tax, this is when we would do our taxes. We don't want to pay tax on something we're not spending. All right. Now, there's going to be situations where you have to find multiple parts. For example, you may have to find the discount, and then you may have to find tax, and you may have to find the tip. In this case, there's an order. Again, because we don't want to pay tax on something that we're not actually spending. So the first step that we do is we find the discount price. Of course, we know that that's the original price times the discount percent gives us our discount amount. We subtract that from our price, and then we have our discounted price. Then we're going to use the steps for tax to find out how much tax we pay on that discounted price. If we're going to put in a tip, we find the tip on the discounted price, not the original. Of course, it would be then we find our totals, discounted price, plus the tip, plus the tax, if necessary. So we have an example of that. Maria has a coupon for 20% off her total bill at Red Lobster. Her bill ends up being $52.75. The sales tax on the restaurant food is 13.5%. Also, she gave a 15% tip. How much did Maria pay as her final bill? So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to find out the discounted price, because we don't want to pay tax on something we didn't actually spend. So it's 20%. So 20 divided by 100 gives us our 0.2 is our decimal. $52.75 times 0.2 gives us $10.55 is what the discounted price amount is. To find our discounted price, we take our original and we subtract the discount. So $52.75 minus $10.55. Our discounted price that we're actually paying before tax and before tip is $42.20. Now we got to find our tax. Our tax is 13.5%, so we divide 13.5 by 100. That gives us our 0.135. We multiply that times the discounted price, $42.20. So we end up paying $5.70 tax. And we're going to do the same thing this time, 15% divided by 100. That's what percent means, per 100. And we get 0.15. We multiply that by our $42.20, which is the discounted price, not the original. And we find that the tip is going to be $6.33. Now, to find our total cost after all the discounts, tips, and taxes, we add our discounted price plus the tax plus the tip, and now we end up with $52.23. So here's a prime example of what you may see in a test in the near future, also in the end of grade tests, because they like to throw these kind of problems at you. You find the discount, you subtract that from the original price. That's the price that you use. Your discounted price is what you use to calculate tax and tip, and then you add those together. All right, so here we have four problems. The first one I do for you, you're going to, of course, fill in your information, and then the other three is your responsibility. You are going to do those as your grade. How you do them is going to be done just like I've done number one. So the Kerwoods went out to eat at Chili's. If their bill was $58.65, and they gave their server a 15% tip, how much did they pay altogether? So the very first thing I did was I underlined my original price, the first amount, my original cost. I also underlined my tip, so I know how much my tip's going to be and how much did they pay altogether. Now, a tip we know is an addition. So I'm going to put a little plus sign right underneath tip so I know that I'm adding that to my price. All right, to find the answer, how much did they pay all together? First, I have to find my tip. So $58.65 times 15%, which is 15 divided by 100, or 0.15, equals $8.80. Now, if you punch that in the calculator, you will get a number bigger than 8. It would be 8.7970 or something. Because it's past the hundredth position, you have to round it, because there's no partial pennies in our world. So now I found that the tip was $8.80. I add that to my original price, $58.65 plus $8.80. So the pay that they paid all together, $67.45. Now you have problem 2 that you're going to do. Mark the parts, annotate like I did here, number 1. We're also going to do number 3. So you're going to do number 3 on your own, and you're going to do number 4 on your own. These are part of your grade. If you have any questions or need some help, remember, I am available during my Zoom meet times, Monday, Tuesday, Thursdays, and Fridays. Until then, I will see you online.